Today we've got blockchain jobs. We're going to get into statistics and how in Asia they're rising up even though crypto has fallen over the past couple of months. Hello ladies and gentlemen. Today we are on CNBC. Some of you may not like them, but regardless, blockchain jobs are booming in Asia even as cryptocurrency prices struggle. Some people might be quite upset to see 195 billion Bitcoin was going up towards $7,400 and then boom, it dropped to $6,300 and then it went up again a little to $6,400 and then it dropped again. Ethereum is at 195 and my eyes are weeping about that. I only have a couple $100s in Bitcoin, but even that couple $100 does hurt. So there's one thing that makes me always super inspired, motivated, and gives me hope. And that's looking at the jobs. And ever since Miami, I remember watching a presentation where a company put a graph, a very simple graph up on screen. They're like, look at this, guys. This is the amount of jobs in blockchain that were here last year. These are the amount of jobs that are currently on the market. And these are our projections. And I just saw, that's pretty big. And then I looked at the numbers underneath and I was like, whoa, that is quite the difference. And then they were saying, we're going to give you two real life examples. One, the amount of projects that were going on in this conference since the year was started, the Miami blockchain and Ethereum, Bitcoin and Ethereum conference or whatever it was called. It was going on for a couple of years and the amount of projects has grown exponentially every single year. In addition to that, the amount of attendees and the amount of conferences has grown exponentially every single year as well. It used to be only a couple hundred people, while now they grew to 5,000 and they're expecting 10,000 for the next conference. And they were sold out. Obviously there was hype, obviously there was a little bit of a bubble. It crashed, but the amount of jobs is still out there. Maybe in Europe and North America you may not see it as much, but Asia is the center for crypto movements. I suspect in North America and Europe we're going to have more and more. In Poland, I went on to Pracuj.pl, that is like the jobs or Indeed or Monster.com of Poland, and nothing. I saw an IndaHash old listing, but they're not hiring anymore. I know Consensus is going to open up something in a couple months, but there's not a lot. I feel in my heart, though, that there's definitely going to be 100 or 200 plus jobs over the next couple of years coming in here. And these are highly specified roles. These are international roles that are paying very handsomely. Recruitment firm Robert Walters said it has seen a 50% increase in the number of roles related to blockchain since 2017. It is just one statistic to look at the amount of jobs being offered and the amount of people, but you have to keep in mind this. Blockchain is still a new industry. The amount of Ethereum developers out there is very little. People who actually know what they're doing. A lot will say and advertise an Ethereum developer, great, but there's still a limited amount of individuals out there since there's not really university courses. You have to go online and you have to go learn it yourself. You have to be already good with a couple of coding languages. You have to have some experience with other projects and companies. You might even be a Bitcoin or Ethereum investor. But for big corporations, it's very difficult to find people, and that's why they're willing to pay 3 or 4 times the amount that a normal developer, a normal marketer, a normal manager would get. Entire IT departments have to be redesigned. In this article later, they're going to talk about how volatility plays a huge role, but the main question for companies is, do we have enough people who are knowledgeable about whatever we're going to go into in the next year? Since the IT department has to be redesigned, you need people who know what they're doing. And unfortunately, in cryptocurrencies, there's a lot of people who became millionaires and billionaires, and they may not be a good engineer. They may not be a good marketer. They may not be a good this or that. They might just be good at investing. They might have just gotten lucky or taking the right opportunities, and that's great. That doesn't mean they're making silly actions, but it doesn't mean that they're good for the company's positions. Due to its relative nascency, however, many of those entering the crypto and blockchain related space are coming from other industries. We hardly ever hire from inside of crypto because most people inside of crypto are very inexperienced. You have very, very few people who are experienced who get into the crypto industry. And usually those guys are charging a couple $100,000 salary. Some even into the millions of dollars because they're going straight for the percentage of equity in a company. Not many people have the actual skill sets required for the developer roles. Here it says, if crypto is doing well, if people are making money in crypto, we get huge inbound from people because they feel like, I need to jump on this wave. So if Bitcoin's doing well, you get a lot of people coming in. And then when you see crypto going down, and we saw this at the very beginning of this year, and we're seeing this right now, then we see that immediately the demand of people, they're like, oh no, this is dying industry, I shouldn't go in there. So it decreases a little bit. Of course, in the long term, it's still increasing greatly because, again, new industry, a lot of people are learning these skills. The more time that goes on, it doesn't take a long time to learn this stuff. It's usually a couple months. Interest in blockchain-related positions, however, is stayed in an uptrend, Indeed data showed. So you got the jobs per 1 million in cryptocurrency, blockchain, and Bitcoin jobs, they're all the same. In Asia, that has gone from June 2016, proportion per million from around 10, it looks like, 10 jobs out of a million to nearly 360, 370 per 1 million. So we're talking about tens of thousands of jobs essentially just in Asia alone. And that makes sense. There's thousands of crypto projects coming out of there. The situation in Asia seems to mirror the US in that Bitcoin trends are much more volatile and resulting media coverage, while blockchain and crypto searches have seen a more consistent upwards trajectory. Then it later goes into the lag effect where a lot of experienced and wealthy people, maybe stock traders, past investors, past Ethereum developers are deciding, you know what, I'm going to go full out with crypto. I did a couple projects, I did a couple investments, it worked out well, but they're going to wait. They're going to wait till they go full out. Maybe 6 months, maybe 12 months, maybe they wait till Bitcoin's at $25,000. Everybody has their own psychological barriers, but some people might be crazy enough to drop everything, but not everybody. This is essentially the same article here, but I'm going to link both just in case you don't like the first website. And here we're going to go through some statistics. This is pretty dope to look at. 372, the number of open positions as of the article being written on CoinDesk Career Center job board. It was launched in May. Top 6 blockchain job categories. So infrastructure, professional services, trading and tools, consulting firms, financial services and products, and payments 2.0. 12, the number of jobs posted in the enterprise blockchain platforms category on the CoinDesk Career Center. The average salary for one of those enterprise positions, a product architect / full stack React developer, is making anywhere from $120,000 to $160,000. $250,000 is the top of the annual salary range, which begins around $90,000 for a blockchain research scientist position. Usually the ones with PhDs are able to get up to $250,000. 9,577 number of positions returned for a worldwide search of the keyword blockchain on LinkedIn's job search tools. That number shrinks to 2,000 when you search blockchain engineer, and it goes to 40,000 if you search blockchain developer. And that's what I was talking about earlier, where some people are going to say they're a blockchain developer, but once you go specific, once you need an engineer who's actually had 2 years of project development, well, then it gets below even 1,000 in certain cases. 37% of jobs at blockchain-related companies are remote-friendly. They're A-okay with someone like me working right now. I'm working with a company in Poland, even though that company is based in Barcelona. I worked with a company in Mexico. I worked with a company in Canada. I worked with a company in America. Sometimes I travel, and that's great, but most of the time I'm sitting behind my computer and doing the work, and it's working nice. 23%, the percentage of 293 chief information officers, according to a recent Gartner survey, who are either already investing into a blockchain project or in the near term they're planning to launch their own initiative. 23% of that 293 said that among tech categories, blockchain requires the most new skills to implement. They're interested in it. They know it's advanced. They know it's going to take some time, but hey, good for hype. 18%. The percentage of CIOs in that same survey that said blockchain skills are the hardest to find out of all the technology out there. That's why they're paying the most. It is all about that rarity. The amount of crypto YouTubers is still pretty small compared to the amount of musicians and the amount of gamers and the amount of vloggers and everything. That's why certain YouTubers were making a couple $100,000 to a couple $1 million. The most I got paid for an ICO review was around $8,000 worth in the tokens, which I held on, and that grew to even more. That went into the 5-figure range right there. And I was a small channel. I know people personally who are charging over $100,000 per video. Of course, those rates dropped drastically, but just in the past week alone, I got a $700 deal. Right now, I have another $700 deal going through. I haven't posted ICO reviews in a very long while. I'm looking now into STOs, I'm looking into airdrops, I'm looking into other companies, but there's always more crypto money out there. 6,000%. The year-over-year growth in demand for blockchain skills on Upwork seen a huge demand on there. Even I was looking for some last year. That was kind of funny to look into that. And that was around the time I was getting into steaming and I got more interested in it. And the number one in demand skill is blockchain skills on Upwork. So those are some interesting statistics. I'm going to link those links to you guys down below. My name is Michael Cabrera. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and that's that. Blockchain jobs in Asia are increasing, but blockchain jobs all over the world are increasing. And most of these companies are A-OK with remote as well. So that's where the money is, folks. See you guys.